the Air Force of the Republic of Ghana have made several requests to me that it is time for the Republic of Ghana to give them a multifunctional aircraft that is bigger than this, because this is a constraint to them. This is just a small aircraft that essentially can only lift just a few people. So it is constrained to lift only the president. This aircraft cannot lift troops on UN rotation, that is to say, those going to Lebanon.
But don't we have other aircraft?
We don't. Ghana Air Force doesn't. We have what we call the CASA aircraft, which cannot do that. It's just short-haul aircraft. We cannot use it for that. So we use it just within West African space. But if you are going to Lebanon, for example, we go to charter aircrafts. So we have 876 soldiers in Lebanon. Anytime they are going, we charter aircrafts and we pay tickets to them. We have 2,200 soldiers across the world, most of them in concentrated areas, 800 in Lebanon, 400 in Sudan and other places. Together it's about 2,000 soldiers. When these people are going, the UN, we have to charter the aircrafts and then lift them back and forth. All countries that have what we call strategic lift aircrafts don't charter, they use their own aircrafts. The Ghana Air Force has said on several occasions that give us a strategic lift aircraft. We are spending more money to charter aircrafts than would have done if we had our own aircraft. Over the last 10 years, we've spent over 50 million United States dollars to charter aircrafts. And the Air Force is saying, why are you wasting all this kind of money? If you have 50 million United States dollars to charter aircrafts and pay tickets to soldiers only, just soldiers, why don't you give that money for us to buy a bigger aircraft, and then we can use it to do other things? The last time, we lifted the Black Stars, we lifted the Black Meteors, we lifted the Black Satellites. In fact, the Black Satellites would have missed their Algerian tournament, if not for the Air Force. But we used the military CASA aircraft, which is not ideal. If we had this aircraft, that's what we would have used. So the Air Force said, make a case for us. Use this opportunity of a Black House question to make a case for us that, look, the state should think of giving them a bigger aircraft that can load 100 or more passengers.
Which would also take the president? Is that the
point? So they want to operate like how the Ethiopian Air Force operates. When the Ethiopian Prime Minister is traveling, they commandeer one of the aircrafts and tweak it into a VIP setting.
Or they can change it?
They can change it.
Oh, the Air Force in Ghana?
That's what the Air Force is asking for.
Change it with seats and
realign it? That's exactly what they will do. That's why they use the word multifunctional aircraft. So all that they have asked for is that give us an aircraft that we can change the seat, realign it to about a 50-seater.
For the president to travel
and come back.
And that same aircraft can become a 100-seater for troops.
In fact, the aircraft they are looking for can take a maximum of 180 people.
I see. But it can be configured for
So
presidential travels for 50, 30.
When they are configuring it for what we call VIP travel, it configures to 50. So they change the seats, change the things to 50. But if it is for the normal routine everyday duty, they leave it at the 180 to serve all the people that we are doing. And in the long run, we are saving huge sums of money.
Oh, I get the point now. So whatever plane that the president will be using is the same plane that we might see the Black Stars using.
The Black Stars using.
But it's configured differently, depending on who is using it.
Yes, it's configured differently.
So this is the point you made to Parliament.
That is the point I made to Parliament. And I said this particular aircraft that we have cannot do that. Because it takes only 8 people on long-haul journeys, and it takes only 11 people on short-haul journeys. So you cannot do that. And the Air Force is constrained. Today, we are virtually using only the CASA, which is a purely military aircraft. Civilians are not supposed to have been sitting on it, but that's what we are using today, to the point that the aircrafts are overused.
And that's what the Black Stars take?
That's what everybody is taking. Find out the amount of money the sports ministry is spending in lifting the Black Stars.
So you're looking for one plane?
One plane.
Okay, fair enough. Now let me
just one plane.
But you know that
if we had money, we could have bought more than one. But the Air Force knows that there are constraints, so they are looking for just one plane. Okay. The Falcon airworthy.
That's all.
That's it.
Okay, but then that will then answer if it was airworthy. Yes. Why then did the president take another plane at the cost of?
So I said that yes, the Falcon is airworthy. But I took the time to explain some things. I gave historical background. I gave the fact that President Kufuor had requested for acceded to the request of the Air Force to have 2 aircrafts, even though he knew he would not use any of them, so that the politics of you are buying for yourself is not there. He knew, but he acceded to it, and the NDC canceled the bigger jet and left us with a small one. One was 35 million, the other was 60 million.
60?
Yes.
This
in
Falcon
fact,
was
by
35 million.
parliamentary hands, it was 63 million.
And the other one was 63 million?
Yes.
The bigger one was 63 million, United States dollars?
United States dollars.
Yeah. Oh, what about now? Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
Yes. But then the NDC decided to cancel the order for the bigger jets when they won power in 2009, citing the fact that Ghana didn't have money to do that and left only the one that could pick 11 people. The one that could pick 120 people, they canceled it. They didn't have money. Only for us to later learn that they had paid judgment debt of more than 100 million within that same period.
You are referring to the Alfred Woyome case?
Woyome alone was the equivalent of 49 million.
Yeah.
Just one person. And added together.
Yes.
So for us, the priority of the NDC then was to pay judgment debt, not to buy the Air Force plane. So it was not the issue of money. And I stated this on the floor of Parliament that it looks to me that the NDC's priority at that time was to pay judgment debt and not to give the Air Force what they are looking for.
But was that not politicking, Honorable Defense Minister?
No, but it's not politicking.
What question were you answering to bring in judgment debt?
Somebody asked me what is the reason why the NDC cancelled this jet. A supplementary question.
Okay. When you give the report, the chief whip then asked
me. It has cost us over 50 million United States dollars just to give tickets to soldiers to travel within the last 10 years. And if you quantify the amount of money that it has cost this state, from the Youth and Sports Ministry to Defense to Foreign Affairs to the Presidency, it has cost us over $100 million in conservative terms. And I think that would have made more saving if we had that aircraft, because the Air Force would have been doing all this lifting for us.
I think the point that hasn't come out well is this configuring thing that you're talking about, which is very interesting, which is a cost saver.
Yes.
So you buy a plane, it can be configured for presidential travel, it can be configured for ministerial travel, for the Speaker of Parliament,
in fact, this
for military troops, for footballers, for trade issues.
Yes.
This
aircraft can save Ghana in 2 parts. Apart from the fact that it can be configured to be used for that, that's what the Air Force has asked for. Give us a plane that can carry over 150 people so that we can configure it and use. When the Black Stars are going, it will take them there and bring them back. When the satellites are going to play, it will take them there and bring them. When the Meteors are going, or any of the national teams, football, even the women football teams, when you are taking a delegation of chiefs from Tamale to resolve a problem like we resolved the Yana problem, we're using the CASA, you will use that kind of aircraft to do that. When you are evacuating your citizens, as we did within the COVID period around West Africa, you will use that. When our guests were stranded in Dubai, for example, you will use that aircraft to evacuate them. When you want to send police for peacekeeping in say, South Sudan as they are, you use that aircraft. When you are taking soldiers for peacekeeping as they are in Lebanon, they are in South Sudan, they are in Congo, that's what you use. So that's what the Air Force has. The second reason the Air Force is saying is that this aircraft does not have enough capacity. And they expect the state to give them an aircraft that has bigger capacity. So that when a president or a VIP is traveling and has a large delegation, people do not have to go ahead. Because if they do, they will go and incur cost to the state, hotel bills, and a lot of other things. If you were president today and you were traveling to, say, the United States to attend a conference, a UN conference, and you are having a delegation of 50, President Mahama took a delegation more than 50 before. So let's use him, for example, when he had a delegation of up to 50 to travel. If he had a large capacity aircraft that could carry 40 people, nobody needed to go ahead. He will carry everybody on one aircraft to that place. But today we have this Falcon. It can only take maximum to the United States 11 people, maximum. But they normally don't do that. They even carry 9. So that means 41 people will have to take the lead.
If you are using President Mahama's 50 benchmark.
50. So 41 people will have to take the lead. Can you imagine the amount of money they will cost the state?
49 times $2,000 for tickets alone, plus another $1,000. So $3,000 per person at the minimum, times 49.
49. You can imagine over $100,000 that you are just going to spend, but that money could have been saved. And you are talking of just one trip. You can imagine the amount of money that you save in 10 trips, in 10 years, in 20 years that this aircraft would have been working. Secondly, even the president himself, and that's the point I make and made, and some media station decided to do propaganda of it. Even the president himself, if he has a small aircraft like this, will have to go a day ahead to be able to prepare himself before he can go for a meeting. But most presidents and most VIPs who use aircraft that they can freshen up, they don't go to stay in their host countries. They go direct into the meetings.
And they leave.
And they leave.
Okay, let's, two things I want to ask you before I come to your concern about the media. The first one is about continental free trade, which you mentioned on Joy FM's program, which is quite worrying, but that's the second one. The first one is, let's get a timetable of what you are talking about. So assuming President needs to be in America on Thursday for an important meeting, and today is Sunday, you are saying that if he has the aircraft that you are talking about, he can work in Ghana until Wednesday night.
And leave.
And leave with everybody.
Everybody.
And they get to America Thursday morning. They can stay on the plane for an hour, have breakfast, do their meetings, preparation, and walk straight into the meeting.
In fact, so what the president normally would do is that if you have a delegation of, say, Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Defense, Interior, all the other people, you hold the meeting with them in the aircraft. On the aircraft.
Yes, you can do that.
So you freshen up, hold the meeting with them on the aircraft, and you go straight, do your meetings. If you want to stay for some reason, you can. If you don't want to stay, they bring you back.
So you go to the meeting on Thursday, starts at maybe 10 o'clock American time,
yep,
and it ends around 2 o'clock, or it ends at 6 p.m.
They
have
most
dinner.
presidents, that's what they do.
So they can have dinner until 9 p.m. American time, and they are
gone.
ready to go back.
They are gone.
And Friday he's back in Accra.
He's back in Accra
with everybody.
With everybody. So they do not stay too long to cost unnecessary hotel bills for the state. That's what most presidents do anyway.
It's good for security as well.
That's what most presidents do anyway. That's why when they come, the South African president comes, the next day, that very day, he's going
gone.
back.
Yeah, we hear that. Because we get surprised that, he's gone.
But that's the reason they do. He's gone. That's the reason why they do that.
Even and it's for ECOWAS meetings, they come and they're gone.
They go. But most people who are using, and I was the one who was the person who was there during the departure. Most presidents who didn't have large aircraft stayed in Ghana. They slept over in Ghana. Some came the day before. But all of those...
So you're saying that if we don't have an aircraft and the meeting is Thursday, the president may have to leave Ghana on Tuesday.
Tuesday, definitely.
He has work Monday, Tuesday he's gone.
Yeah.
And he's going for a Thursday meeting. So he gets to America on Wednesday, has his preparation, stays in the hotel with everybody, and that's a...
hold a meeting with them, have a caucus with them. You remember that those who are there would have gone ahead of the president.
So they may go on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Trade officials, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Defense, they will go on Sunday. And all that cost, you say, it's what is being averted.
So that build up cost over the years, let's say a period of 5 years, will greatly be very, very huge when it comes to the state. And if you have a strategic, the military, they call it strategic airlift. If you have a strategic airlift, you will not have that cost again. It doesn't.
So if you're talking about 50 people,
that cost to the state.
50 people. I mean, people will ask questions why we travel. President travels as many as 50, but that's a different conversation. So if we have 50 people, you are saying that we can have an aircraft that can take all the 50.
Yes.
In comfortable setting.
In comfortable setting.
Because there's an aircraft that takes 180, so there's a lot of space.
In comfortable setting. The real truth is that I was saying to the people of Ghana that this Falcon is rather costing us a lot more money. By we continue.
How much will it cost
to I also made a point, and I thought that any journalist should be. I said to Parliament that this aircraft has had 2 engine failures.
Oh, I see.
2
engine failure. What does that mean? Engine failure when it's in the air?
Yeah.
So they came down.
They had to force land twice.
Who was on board?
President Mahama was on board once. President Akufo-Addo was on board 2.
Oh, I see.
2 engine failures.
Oh, but a plane can survive engine failures?
Is it 2014 or 2015?
That would be
they had
John
an
Mahama.
engine failure, John Mahama, and President Akufo-Addo 2018 in New York. After 30 minutes flight, they had an engine failure. They had to go back and land.
Wow.
If we had another aircraft that was airworthy, I will not advise the president to use this aircraft for especially long-haul journeys. I will not.
I see.
But we have no choice because we have only this. And I don't think anybody is wishing our president. And in this case, I've not also mentioned Akufo-Addo, so don't go and say Akufo-Addo.
Yes, okay. Wishing any president.
Any president. Our president means any president.
To have a
problem
an accident
like that.
with a plane.
like I said, if
God forbid,
if we had another aircraft that was airworthy, I would have advised that we should use it for just short haul.
I think maybe, Minister, maybe just as an advice from the PR side, perhaps the Ministry of Defense should let Ghanaians know the usefulness of the Ghana Armed Forces to civilian causes, like we see the Americans do in health, in agriculture, in sports, education, in everything, because military, they have rapid responses, they can get there and take people, they can bring vaccines in, they can fly footballers here. Maybe we should know the Air Force and the Army.
So in this case, we are talking about the Air Force.
Yeah.
You see this aircraft?
Yeah.
Because it's so small, we use it mostly to do presidential travels.
Yeah.
You see this one?
The one I broke in, yes.
The one you broke.
Yeah.
It's essentially a thing that does only reconnaissance. It takes pictures of things that are happening and gives us intelligence.
Oh, it takes photographs?
Photographs, and gives us a
So
lot
it's
of intelligence.
what?
And it's also a trainer aircraft.
Okay.
Have you seen this? It's a drone.
The black one?
No.
This one?
This one. It's a drone. All it does is it takes intelligence. So
what is a drone? Yeah, this is a drone.
So bad people, what bad people are doing, what they go around doing, it is the one that will take silently the information for you so that you know what criminals are doing at every place.
So this is deployed by the Air Force?
Yes.
I see.
And these two are jet fighters.
This one is a jet fighter?
These are jet fighters.
What do? They throw bombs?
So they are those that will defend you when there's a need to defend you. When there's an attack from air, from the ground, they are those who are to help the army on the ground defend them.
Okay.
But remember that the army boys who are fighting also have wives and family, and
Yes,
you need to save them.
Yeah.
So this one is expected to ensure that they shoot in the air and kill the enemy from the air. So that's exactly what these two are doing. The Air Force does a lot of things. Now we have what we call medevac. There are aircrafts that do medevac. So when there's a disaster today, they do the medevac.
Yeah.
I mean, I just showed you pictures of the Air Force doing medevac from Mali, doing medevac from, so small time, when there is a problem, they will call me from Tamale. Can you come and do medevac? That means the patient cannot walk. The patient cannot sit. The patient cannot do anything.
So you are bringing the patient to, say, Kolebu?
Kolebu.
And you fly the patient?
I have to fly the patient.
Yeah.
I have to fly the patient.
And this is a job that the military does,
the military does that.
For any Ghanaian?
For any Ghanaian.
Oh,
when there's a disaster, for example, we do that. When there's a disaster.
So when there's an unfortunate car accident in Bolga.
And now people cannot more sit in an aircraft, in even a civilian aircraft. You have to lie down.
You evacuate them.
You cannot charter hour.
Yes, it's Africa World.
And you cannot do anything.
No.
The person
so sitting here in your office, you can make a phone call, and within 15 minutes,
they are there.
You can have 15 troops ready.
They are there.
So they are, as we speak, they are ready.
The military are always ready.
Always.
In less than 10 minutes, they will be ready.
Where they wear everything, they put
and
on
then they are gone. They take off and they are gone to rescue the person. When there's a disaster any place, and they always do that. I'll be there and I'll get a call. Please, minister, there's this person, a patient, he's dying. What can we do? I will have to mobilize very quickly. Either we'll use a helicopter or we'll use the casa to go and bring that person, because the person has to lie on a stretcher. So the military does aircrafts, they do a lot of things. How many times does a president travel? Maybe twice in a year, 3 times in a year, 4 times in a year, outside the country.
Yeah.
So he's the last person who normally travels outside the country. But those who travel more are the civil servants, the government workers, and the entire government system. They travel more outside the country than the president. But the conversation is as if only the president. No, that's not correct. When we reduce the aircraft to only to the usage of the president, we are doing ourselves a lot of disservice.